Venu,
This
can you hear me?
conference will now be recorded.
1 second, 1 second.
Yeah.
So hello all, good morning. Myself Venu. I have total 7 years of experience into HR domain, out of which I'm into SuccessFactors from last 4 years. I'm currently working on SuccessFactors, recruitment, onboarding, and learning management modules. I'm certified in all the three modules. So I worked on both implementations and support projects as well in the career of 4 years. So today we will hello.
Yeah, Venu, we can hear you.
So, so agenda of today's meeting is that we'll have a quick overview of recruiting, and I suggest it should be like discussion session rather than just I am talking about. So, if you have any questions or anything, you can just stop me and you can ask me at any time. So, I hope all you all can see my screen. In SuccessFactors, we have different modules. Employee Central is the core of all the modules where we maintain and do regular activities of an employee, like hiring an employee, terminating an employee, and any other information related to the employee, like job information, position information, compensation information. All these will be maintained in Employee Central. So all the data from the Employee Central will be transferred to recruiting. Like for example, if we have a requirement on a position, we get the data from Employee Central and then we process the candidate in the recruitment module, and then we will send back the candidate information again to Employee Central. So, along with Employee Central, we also connect our recruiting modules with onboarding to perform onboarding activities like document collection, e-signatures, visa information, passport information, any SSN information. All these kind of information will be collected in onboarding module. So, recruitment module connects with both Employee Central and onboarding also, where it's a data flow between both. And so all the hiring process we perform in recruitment module. When it comes to SuccessFactors, we have different modules for each employee engagement. For example, if it is a learning module, we can train the candidates in different training courses. We can assess the candidates in learning. And if it is a performance and goal management module, we rate the candidates on their yearly performances or quarterly or half-yearly based performances. And if it is a compensation module, we perform all the related hikes, promotions, and all the information that an employee needs when he has to move on to the next level in the same organization. We perform in the compensation module. And in the section and development, it's basically related to developing your existing organizations, employees. So all these are within Employee Central, and all these are within SuccessFactors, and all are connected to Employee Central main module. So when it comes to recruiting, we use the recruiting module to source the candidate, engage the candidate in different emails and different activities that we perform in the complete interview process and hire the candidate based on the selection of the candidate. We can also perform different selection process in the recruitment module. We can connect the recruitment module with different systems like LinkedIn, Naukri, job boards, all these things we can connect and we can source the candidates directly into recruiting module. So that's the reason we call the steps in recruiting as source, engage, and hire. In the sourcing, we have different processes where we can post the jobs onto different websites. We can we can also post the jobs to LinkedIn, Naukri, and once the candidate comes into a SuccessFactors, we have different engagement programs where we can send regular emails to the candidates. We can send regular marketing emails about the organization. We can also track the login of a user. We can also track distance, for example, based on the radius. How many candidates have applied in India? How many candidates have applied in US? Based on those, also we have a track that can be done in a recruiting module. Once the candidate gets selected, we can perform the onboarding actions. We can perform background checks. We can perform assessments to candidates post and pre and post hiring. Also, we can perform assessment checks in recruitment module. So I'll pause for a minute. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Hello.
Yeah, no questions. Carry on.
So when it comes to outside of SuccessFactors, we call any requirement as a job, but inside we call it as a job requisition, where we collect all the information of a particular job, where, for example, location of that job, department of that job, division of a job, who is the hiring manager, what is the salary range. All these information are collected in the job requisition. So basically, when we create a job requisition, we can create in different ways. For example, if we have employee central enabled in the SuccessFactors, we can directly use position integration where all the details that are existing position we can use and we can create a job requisition. So basically, job requisition is the main template for the recruitment module because all the key information for a particular job will be collected in the job requisition, and then we send this job information data to different other templates. So we can also send the job requisition for different approvals in the organization based on the roles that are available in the organization. For example, we can send the requisition to hiring manager approval, recruiter approval, finance approval, because we can perform all the approval process in the job requisition. So once the job requisition is approved, and then we have the option to post the jobs onto different websites like intranet website, like internal website of an organization, external website of an organization, job boards like LinkedIn, Naukri, any other job boards present in that particular country. Based on the country also, we can differentiate the job postings. And we have also option of posting to different agencies. Agencies are nothing but third-party consultants where they will source the candidates in behalf of the organization. So we can also have the option to enable posting to different agencies in the system. So once the job is posted in all these agencies, candidates can directly apply for the job, and candidates will be directly. It's a real-time sync. Once the candidate applies for the job, immediately that candidate will be available in the SuccessFactors system. So we post the jobs in career sites, for example, internal career site and external career site. Internal career sites are the one where we post the jobs to source the candidates from internally. Like internal employees, we can collect the resume, we can process the candidates in the system. And external candidates are the ones where we collect, it's an outside of organization where candidates will be searching for jobs in Naukri or LinkedIn or any other job boards. Once they apply for the job, that candidate information, including his resume, cover letter, we can also configure to upload any additional documents, for example, any experience certificates or any recommendation letters. All these can be configured in the career site section. When it comes to career site section, we have a different module again, apart from recruiting management, it's called recruiting marketing, where all the career site is designed in CSS and HTML, where we can input some videos so that candidates can look after the organization. Candidates can also get a regular updates on what is the current situation of an organization. Is there any big news that is coming up? All these will be available in the career site section when the career site is defined in a marketing. So recruiting marketing is a different module. We have a different certification for recruiting marketing also. So another template apart from the creation is that candidate profile. So candidate profile template we call CPT, where we collect the information, personal information of a candidate. Personal information in the sense like her date of birth, address, email ID, phone number, and education, previous experience, certification, languages. All these are collected in the candidate profile section. Every candidate will have only one profile per organization. So we cannot have more than one profile, and each and every candidate has to fill the profile first and then apply for a job. So that's a basic requirement of a SuccessFactors system. So when it comes to the candidate profile, candidate will have only one profile, but he can apply for many jobs in the organization. There is no restriction in SuccessFactors for applying jobs in the organization. So the next template we call it as CDT, candidate profile template, candidate application template or candidate detail info template, where we collect the information of a candidate for the job specific. For example, whether he has a valid visa or not, whether he is willing to relocate or travel, any other restrictions that apply for a particular job. For example, if I am hiring for a recruiter, then all the job specific questions for a recruiter will be applied in the candidate application section, where candidate has to fill this application, upload his resume, upload any other additional documents. So all these are collected in the candidate application. Candidate will be able to apply for the job, and candidate will be able to edit the application at any time, and he can withdraw the application also from the career site section. So in SuccessFactors, we have a feature called Interview Central and Interview Scheduling, where we can schedule the interviews directly with the candidate and the interviewer in the system. Both candidate and interviewer will get a notification of when is the interview, where is the interview, what are the different documents or what are the different instructions that needed. We can all configure those instructions in the notifications, and we can schedule the interviews directly in the SuccessFactors system. We can also integrate our Outlook calendar. For example, every organization will have a separate Outlook email, right? We can configure that Outlook email into the system, and the live data of the interviewer's availability, whether he is available at this particular time or whether he is not available at 10 o'clock. All this information will be transferred directly into the SuccessFactors system, where recruiter can directly set up an interview without any manual intervention of calling the candidate or calling the interviewer. So once we perform the interview actions, we can also request the interviewer to rate the candidate on different skills. We can use a 5-marked point marked rating system, or we can use star rating system, or we can use thumbs up rating system. All these kind of actions we can ask the interviewer to perform to provide the feedback once the interview has been conducted in the system. So every organization do performs a background check, whether it's a pre-background check or a post-hiring background check, or so we can configure those background checks in the organization. And based on the background check vendor, we can directly send our candidate information from recruitment module to background check vendor, and background check vendor can send the data back to SuccessFactors. There are some integration directly provided by SAP. For example, First Advantage background check vendor, where we can directly integrate the First Advantage background check in the system. If the organization does not have a agreement with First Advantage, but they have an agreement with any different vendor, then we can also configure different vendors based on the country. For example, India, we can configure one background check vendor. For example, if it's the US, we can configure another background check vendor. So all these things we can perform in our recruitment module. So once the candidate comes into the system, we have also process called offer approvals. Uh, Offer approvals nothing but all the information of a job for that candidate. What is the salary information? Is there any car allowance? What is the shift timings? What are the work hours? How many hours per week? All this information will be collected in offer, and we can send the offer from the system directly to the candidate. We can send an online offer where candidate can view the offer in the career site section, or we can send a PDF as well, or we can ask the candidate once he views the PDF, he can also perform an e-signature. That means acceptance over e-signature. So all these can be done directly online. There is no physical hard copy or anything that is needed when the organization using SuccessFactors recruitment. So I'll stop here for a minute if you have any questions. So permissions related to any operator, for example, a recruiter or a hiring manager, whoever performs the activities, we can provide the permissions, whether to view a candidate, to view a requisition, to view a offer. All these can be performed based on the permission section. So here we provide the permissions based on different roles. Roles are nothing but all the people that are involved in a recruitment process. Originator is the one who created the requisition, hiring manager. So once the candidate joins, who will he reports to? Who will be the hiring manager? All the process that is conducted by the recruiter, recruiter coordinator, or sources, all the hiring activities, for example, interview scheduling, speaking with the candidate whether he is suitable for the job. All these performed by recruiters and other members like finance, because every organization will have a finance team where they have to approve for a particular job. So we can also send the permission. We can also provide the permissions to finance team, and they will be able to view all these organizations data in the system. So all these we control using recruiting roles. We call it as roles in the section, and all the approval process. For example, who needs to be the first approver of the requisition? We can perform those steps in the roadmap, which is called a route map. It's nothing but the approval process steps. The first will be hiring manager. The second will be recruiter. So all these steps we can configure in the system. If you look at the screen here, so the first create requisition, and then it goes to recruiter review. Once the recruiter completes the approval process, requisition gets completed and it is ready for sourcing the candidates. So as mentioned earlier, we call the requisition as a requisition template where we can perform due dates, we can perform spell check, we can perform different activities like print, we can send the form to next step. There are different actions which we will discuss in our training program. So at this point, for the templates, all the templates are defined in an XML language. So for example, this is the job requisition template. So in the job requisition template, we will discuss how to define a field, right from defining the sections to completing a label. We will discuss all the sections in detail. How to define a field, what are the field ID means, what is the type means, what is the required custom, how to define a label in different languages, what is the description, how to provide permissions for each field. Each and every XML line will be discussed in our training sessions. So basically, if you are not aware of XML language, then there is no need to worry at all. We can discuss directly when we discuss over the training program. So each and every line that how to define a field, how to define different kinds of field, we will discuss in our training sessions. So once we define the fields, we have also defined permissions to each role. Which role has to view which field? For example, salary information. So salary information is a confidential information. We cannot provide permissions to VP of staffing or sources of requisition. So only salary information will be provided permissions to view for hiring manager, a recruiter, and finance only. Other operators, other persons that are involved in the recruiting process should not be get displayed with the salary information. We can control these view and edit permissions as well. So likewise, we can define all the templates. We have 5 templates in the system, where first one is the requisition template, second candidate profile template, third one is application template, offer template, integration template. These are 5 templates. All the templates are defined in XML language only.
Venu, I have a question.
Yes.
This advertising about a position comes under recruitment marketing?
No, basic advertisement comes in under recruiting management only.
Or these external sites mean by what is the meaning of external site, external searching?
External career site. So nothing but your organization's career section. Careers you will have in every organization, right? Where
Okay.
candidate can directly visit their organization's website and they can search for the job.
Okay.
That is
So
external career section.
okay, is that anywhere related to the recruitment marketing?
Yes. All the data
Okay.
will be flown to career site using recruiting management. But all the, for example, if you have any video or all the search filters and all the images that exist in a career site section will be defined in the marketing.
Okay.
Marketing is used nothing but a design of your career site.
Oh, okay, okay. That's what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
So once we post the jobs onto the career site, once we collect the data of the candidate, we have a different process called candidate selection process or candidate selection management, where we can view the candidates, all the candidates that are applied to a requisition, and we can perform mass activities also. We can mass release the offers, we can mass schedule interviews, we can mass reject the candidates. All these can be done in the candidate selection process. So here we call it as candidate talent pipeline also, where we configure different steps of an organization. What is the screening steps? For example, some organizations will have 2 rounds of technical interview, 1 round of HR interview, 1 round of VP interview, 1 round of HR interview. All these are different interview processes. So based on the organization, we create different statuses. Status is nothing but a bucket where candidate comes in, whether candidate is suitable for the job. For example, once the candidate applies for a job, he will be in the new application stage. That means he has applied just now. So once the recruiter views the candidate's resume, and if that candidate's resume suits the job requirement, then the recruiter moves the candidate to shortlist. That means he is ready for the next process. For example, in the new application, the candidate is not suitable for the job, then directly we can move the candidate to a rejection bucket. So for example, if you see a disqualified bucket, so in the new application resume, recruiter looks at the resume, but if the resume is not good or he is not meeting any education criteria or experience criteria, then the recruiter can directly move the candidate into disqualified status. So based on this, we will create these statuses in the organization. So, for example, interview one. Here we have only one interview section. But if the organization have different interviews set up, so for example, some organizations take 7 to 8 rounds of interviews. All the 8 rounds we can define it as a status, and recruiter has to move the candidate into one after the other once the candidate selects through the process. So here we call it as talent pipeline. Someone call it as candidate applicant status, and all the process we call it as candidate selection management process. So basically a recruiter can view statistics of the candidate, how many candidates can have applied for a particular job, how many new applications, how many old applications, how many candidates are active. Candidates are not active in the sense recruiter has rejected the candidate or candidate himself withdrawn the application. Both are into inactive candidates. So here a recruiter or any other operator, any other role in the organization can view the candidates directly from the job requisitions page. So as mentioned earlier, we can do some mass actions here. We can we can move the candidate. We can email all the candidates at once. We can also forward the candidate from our requisition to any other requisition in the system, or we can forward the candidate for a different recruiter. For example, I am a recruiter and I have seen this candidate is not suitable for my job requisition, but if he is suitable for any other job requisition, then we can move the candidate directly. We can forward the candidate to a colleague. We can print all the resumes of the candidates at once. We can print all the cover letters of the candidates at once. All actions can be performed in mass. We can select the candidates. We can directly perform these actions in the system. So email correspondence, which is an important part of, between a candidate and the recruiter. So every day, for example, in the recruitment process, the recruiter has to send email conversations to emails to candidate that about the process. For example, your interview has been scheduled at this particular time, whether let us know your availability, or if the recruiter has called the candidate, but the candidate has not picked up the phone, then recruiter can send an information. So at all these process is not only for one candidate. A recruiter basically performs these actions at least 20 or 30 candidates a day. But the recruiter may forget what he has performed yesterday or what he performed last week or last month on a particular candidate. So that's the reason we have a tracking capability in SuccessFactors where each and every conversation that has been sent by the recruiter to the candidate, and the candidate reply also will be tracked in the email correspondence thread tracking section. We can enable these options. We can discuss how these actions performed in our training program. So recently we have given with a new option. It's like a chat window. So we call it as message center, where live chat will be there in the system. Like for example, candidate will answer the recruiter's question in an email, but The recruiter can directly view them in a chat window, and they will be able to answer directly from the system here. There is no need to go back again to Outlook and then send an information to the candidate. Directly from here, they can view the and send. And once the candidate replies, that information will also get displayed in the message center itself. So this is a new release feature that was given in last year. So in our training program, we will also discuss what are the latest releases for SuccessFactors. So basically, SuccessFactors releases new features in two times. We call it as H1 and H2. So the first release will happen in June H1, and the next release will happen in the November H2, where different features, different new set of features will be pushed into the application, where we can configure those features on an yearly basis. So as discussed earlier, we can assign interviewers, we can different statuses, we can perform the hiring action. If you look at the screen here, all the rating provided by the interviewer for this particular candidate, and the weightage also we can configure in the interview scheduling, where based on each score the weightage will be calculated as a summary. Whether the candidate has reached that weightage or not, a recruiter can view, and recruiter can perform whether recruiter can decide whether to move the candidate further, or they want to reject the candidate itself. So interview scheduling, if you see add availability, we can configure the days, we can configure the time as well. If it is a reoccurrence, we can configure the reoccurrence timing. So basically, this calendar is the calendar of an interviewer. We can also perform the time zone activities. We can also perform to-do list activities. To-do list is nothing but the interviewer will get a notification a day before that tomorrow you have an interview with so-and-so candidate at so-and-so time. And if it is a with virtual location, there will be details of a Zoom interview or a Skype interview. And if it is a face-to-face interview, we can also we can upload rooms on that particular organization's location. For example, in Hyderabad, I have 5 different rooms in our office. So we can also configure 5 rooms so that we can block the room itself directly from the SuccessFactors system. So schedule interviews also, we can do it on bulk. For example, if you want to schedule 10 candidates at once, we can select 10 candidates at once for interview scheduling. So this is the interview email that I'm talking about. Like, see, all the candidate will get this email interview notification, where it will be maintained like what is the full name of the candidate, what is the requisition he is applied to, what is the time slot. Even the interviewer also will get a notification, and we have an option to configure SMS service into our SuccessFactors system, where immediately once the interview has been performed and interview has been scheduled, the candidate receive an SMS notification to his mobile. We can also have that SMS integration with our system. Interview central and offer process. Offer process is nothing but if you look at offer this salary. So this is the offer that we are giving to one candidate, one particular, for example, Bob. For one candidate, we are giving this offer. What is the title of this candidate once he joins the organization? What is the location of that candidate? For example, if it is in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai, we can maintain that data. So most of the details in offer are coming from requisition template, because in the requisition template we collect all this information. So recruiter no need to enter the offer again. Directly we can configure the flow from requisition to offer. So offer letters, we can release the offer letter directly from the system, and we can use different options: email as PDF, email as text. We can print the offer letter. We can provide a verbal offer. We can provide online offer. We can perform e-signatures. These are different features, additional features provided by SuccessFactors to support the organization in different ways. So when it comes to e-signature, candidate can directly view the offer in the system, and they will be able to e-sign in the system. A name will be collected and it will be displayed as a signature in the system directly. If we call it as e-signature, the vendor is DocuSign. So the organization has to first sign up with the vendor, and then we will configure. As a admin, we will configure the e-signatures in the system. So when it comes to email templates, every organization, for example, if it's a multinational organization, there will be different set of emails. For example, India, we configure it in a different ways. If it is a US, we configure it in a different way, like the header sections or the footer sections, or the recruiter names. Recruiter names will vary from organization, from one country to another country, from one location to another location. Those recruiter names also we can configure dynamically in the system, where automatically the SuccessFactors system picks up what is the recruiter on that particular requisition, and it will be added into the email templates, and it will be sent to the candidate. So based on that, we can create number of templates in the email, and there are some automatic triggers also. For example, once the candidate applies for a job, immediately an email should be triggered to the candidate saying that thank you for your application. Like this, we can perform different email triggers. Trigger is nothing but once that action is performed, an email will be sent to the candidate. You can send the candidate, or we can send it to the recruiter or any other role in the system. So we have also have option of employee referral process. So every bigger organization will have a referral process in the system. So SuccessFactors also allows referral process. We have to enable the referral process. We can configure the referral amounts for that particular organization. We can always perform these activities in the referral process. If you look at the screen here, there is a small button called refer friend to job. We have to enable this job this button in the system. We will discuss in our training in the next class. So when an employee refers the candidate, they will be able to upload what is the basic details of the candidate, resume and name and mobile and email. So employees can directly track the referrals. So for example, if you look at my screen here, what is the stage? $2,500, 100%. The green in the sense this candidate has been selected, and these are in still in process. All these live tracking information also we can configure in the system. We will discuss in our training. So agency portals, for example, every organizations, like for example, TCS or any other organization, first the candidate will receive a call from the consulting firm, where they will pre-screen the candidates whether he is eligible for the job or not. Those agency portals, SuccessFactors has given a separate URL to log in and then apply for the job, apply the candidates for the job. For example, this is an agency access. So only agency user will be able to log in, and they will be able to submit the candidates for a particular requisition. So we can configure these agency users, and we can see this is the agency portal. It's a separate portal when it comes to SuccessFactors system. So we have a concept called business rules. For example, if you want to automate any actions in the system, you can automate using a business rules. For example, if you want to directly add the currency to the requisition or offer or application, you can do it using business rules. And for example, the best business rules everyone currently using is that once the requisition is approved, immediately the requisition will be posted to all the job postings. So that's the main business rule currently we are using in the system. So whenever a requisition gets approved, within immediate second, all the job postings, external career site, internal career site, Naukri, LinkedIn will be posted with this particular job. It's a business rule. And any data change, any interview status change, any offer status change, we can configure in the business rules section. So the next one is candidate relationship management. Candidate relationship is management is that, for example, for a particular job, there will be 100 candidates. But out of 100 candidates, you will only source or will only hire one candidate in the system. Other 99 candidates are interested in your organization, but they are not being selected for that particular job. But you can utilize those candidate details in the system at any time. So candidate relationship management is very key feature for every organization, because they no need to resource the candidate every time they have a requisition in the system, they have a requirement in the system. So in the candidate relationship management, we can send regular updates to the candidate saying that these are the jobs that are being posted today. And for example, if the company has acquired any bigger organization, then they will send a communication to all the candidates saying that, hey, we have acquired a new organization into our system. We have started this future. This is our initiatives in the organization. Like that, to create some interest in the candidates on the organization, we have different relationship activities. We call it as talent pools, where we can, for example, talent pools are basically configured based on the candidate selection. For example, if the candidate from engineering background, if the candidate from degree background, so you have to send a different email to engineering and different email to degree candidates. So based on that, you can configure the talent pool. A talent pool is nothing but a group of candidates where you can send email correspondence to candidates and email campaigns to candidates on a regular basis. You can just create a template and you can schedule a background job where every day at one particular hour, for example, I have scheduled at 12 a.m. So every day 12 a.m. all the candidates in the system will receive a notification saying that these are the new jobs that have been posted in the system. So all these things we can configure in our recruitment system. So marketing emails. We have also have option for the candidate to select what is the visibility of that candidate's profile, whether it is visible only for that organization, for example, only for that country. For example, I am a candidate, I have applied for India, but I have applied for only one job requisition. But if my candidature suits other requirements in the system, other jobs in the system, then other recruiters can also view my profile. Based on that candidate's interest also, we can select the candidate interest in the candidate relationship management. So we have also option of ad hoc reports, reporting of recruitment system, where we can run the reports of each and every action performed by candidate or a recruiter or hiring manager. Any data that has been filled into the requisition system will be available in the ad hoc reports, where we can download them into a CSV file, or we can download them into an Excel file, or we can download them into a PDF file version also. So for example, if you see, look at the thing here, we can calculate cost per hire. What is the cost involved in hiring one candidate? What is the current pipeline status? What are the referral? EEO is a employee organizations initiative in US. We can calculate those and we can download the report. We can also download how many requisitions exist in the organization. What is the status of each and every requisition? We can download a report from our ad hoc reports. So all these features are available in SuccessFactors, where we need to configure based on our organization's requirements. So each and every these things we will discuss in detail in our training program. In addition to these, we will also discuss what are the important information and what are the important links that are useful on a regular day-to-day activities as a SuccessFactors consultant. So basically the front end system we call it as basics and the back end system is called provisioning. So to get the provisioning, each and every consultant has to be certified in the SuccessFactors recruiting module. Then only the provisioning access will be provided. Provisioning is nothing but our backend system, where main configuration will be there in the provisioning system, where you have to enable and disable some features in the provisioning system. So other websites like if you have any concern in performing some activities, you can go to community.successfactors where other consultants like you will discuss them in a blog. It's like a chat blog where you post your question and they will answer whether that feature is possible or not. For example, if you are getting any error, they will answer whether you can rectify error directly from where all the navigations, all the different new features also we will be able to discuss in our community sections. So Launchpad is the one where all the KBAs, how a feature works, what are the different errors. For example, you are getting a strange error saying that application error you are getting. So what is that error mean? How to rectify that error? All the KBS, knowledge-based articles we call it as, are available in our Launchpad website, launchpad.successfactors.com. I'll show you in our training program how to fetch this website, how to download the admin guide from help.sap. All these will be discussed in our training program. So what are the activities we can perform in our learning hub? How to certify, how to apply for the certification, how to get your certification PDF, completion certificate PDF. All these will be discussed in our training program. So as mentioned in a different scenarios, these are the main different templates in the system. So all these are the main templates: recreation, offer, application, and profile. If your organization have employee central enabled, then we will send the data from RCM to employee central. If your organization has onboarding and EC as well, then we send the data to onboarding and then to EC. And to implement recruiting, employee central is not a mandatory. So even without employee central also we can configure and we can enable RCM in the organization. So all the modules are independent of each other. We can configure any module apart from without linking with other modules in SuccessFactors suite. So along with these, we will also discuss what are the implementation strategies, what are the implementation steps that you perform in the organization implementation process, what are the different workbooks that you collect from the we call it as workbooks, where all the requirement of a particular organization will be gathered in the workbook. So we will also discuss how to define a workbook, how to explain that workbook to our organization. All these will be discussed in our implementation steps, and what are the different testing scenarios, what are the support scenarios, how a ticket, for example, if a user is having an issue, they will raise a ticket in the organization, how you will be able to resolve that ticket. All these implementation steps and ticketing steps, support tickets, all will be discussed. And all the live issues, for example, at the time of discussing our recruitment implementation, we will also discuss what could be the possible scenario of a ticket, how to identify support tickets, to what particular, for example, candidate has come back and saying that when he is clicking on apply button, he is not able, the system is not redirecting him to the correct page. We will also discuss those live scenarios in our classes. So how the candidate flow will be there, how an admin flow will be there in the system. So when it comes to candidate view, first, candidate will navigate to KA site, creates his account, fills profile information, fills application information, and those information now will be transferred to recreation template. Once the candidate interview process is in underway, we will release the offer for the candidate. When it comes to admin side is nothing but a consultant view. First, we will gather the requirement in a requisition, we post the job, and then we request the candidate to fill the application and profile, and then we release the offer, and then we will send this offer to candidate information to integration templates. Integration is not a part of admin side because integration can be optional. In your organization, if you want to set up an integration to EC or onboarding, you can set it up. But if your organization does not want to send the information from RCM to any other module, then we should not integrate the system with other modules. So these integration setups also we will discuss in our training program. So what are the different background jobs that exist in our provisioning system? We will also discuss these jobs, how a job will be created, what is the time zone these jobs will be created, what is the use of these jobs. These are automated jobs to ease the process of our recruitment system. So all these will be discussed in our training program. And the next is the course content. Um, these are the course content where we will discuss how an XML template will be prepared, what is a cloud application, what are the business rules, who is an operator. All this will be defined in our XML, and all the related guides, implementation guides, admin guides, sample workbook, all the sample templates will also be provided. Will also be shared in our training program where we will discuss how to read the admin implementation guide. All these things will be discussed in our training system. So we will share this course content after the call. If you have not received it, please talk to the person who has spoke with you, and he will share this course content to you. So all the things that have been discussed will be there in the course content. We can discuss in our training system. So this is the SuccessFactors system. This is called the front end system, where we call it as BizX or front end. So or we have a separate section. So let me log in. So these are the different features that are available in our recruiting. So all these sections will be discussed individually in our training session. So how to perform a candidate deletion, how to set up the agencies, all these are the implementation steps. So each and every feature we need to discuss in the steps. We can also discuss how to integrate the system with onboarding, how we will send the data to Employee Central, and all these are the different features that are available in the system. So any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. So may I know what is the role of XML in this particular success factor? Like,
XML is the foundation of complete recruitment module. So each and every template, we define in an XML only. All these 5 templates.
okay, okay.
These are the 5 templates where we add the fields and we collect the data on different processes.
Okay, okay. So another one you said me like provisioning, right? Is that related to back-end side work?
Yes, it's backend system. Provisioning is a backend system. BizX is the front end system.
Okay. So BizX is front end, right?
Yes.
It is like what do you mean by server? Like I gone through research, so we need to work on server. We need to practice on server. What is that exactly mean?
Server, normally SuccessFactors does not allow consultants to directly work on the servers. It's a cloud application, right? So
Yeah.
provisioning will be the backend system. Servers in the sense,
Okay.
maybe have you heard in the training programs, or at what scenario you have heard?
In YouTube and Quora, I read it somewhere.
Okay. So maybe they mean, for
So
example, in our training, we provide this front-end access. It's a server only,
okay.
for example, so where you can perform all your testing, you can perform all the reading activities in the front-end system. We will give you a demo access in the training
Mhm.
program, and you can navigate all
Okay.
the modules.
Okay. Okay. So other question is like someone should have employee central knowledge
No,
in order to learn RCM or just an idea. That's it.
just an idea. All the transactions
Mhm.
that are related to recruitment will be discussed in our training session that are part of Employee Central.
Okay. Okay.
You don't
So
need a separate Employee Central training.
we don't need employee central.
Yeah.
Okay. And other question is like, do we really need to do integration in earlier stage of our careers, or it is required after a few years?
For example, I'm not sure on your background. For example, once you join in an organization, there will be two different processes. One is a support process and one is an implementation process. So if you are
Okay.
getting hired for the implementation process, then
Mm-hmm.
initially they will train you how to integrate, how to write the XML codes and all. So
Oh,
at that,
okay,
if you
okay.
are into implementation, yes, you need to work on defining those XMLs in the initial stage itself. But if you are into support, there is no need of XMLs also.
Oh, okay, okay. So what would be
And
the work we'll be having if we are in support, for example?
uh, support in the sense, regularly, lot of users will work on the success factors, right? Creating a requisition,
Mm-hmm.
posting the jobs. If they encounter any error in the middle, for example, they
Mm-hmm.
are not able to move the candidate from one status to another status, and
Mm-hmm.
they are
Mm-hmm.
not able to fill one particular field,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay,
if they are getting any application errors, all these are into support project. Like one
okay,
person will raise the issue, and you have to answer the issue actually.
okay. So, got it. Thank you, Vena. And one more thing, do we need to enter these all things manually?
Mostly, complete success factor suite is a kind of drag and drop option where you
Drag
can
and
just
drop.
go and yeah, even the XML also we have an option called from the front end manage templates where you can drag and drop all these fields. But some
Okay, okay.
organizations does not allow drag and drop option manage templates. That's the reason we will also discuss XML definitions.
Oh, okay, got it.
So all other
Thank you,
settings
thank you.
like checkbox only.
Che checkbox in the sense?
Let me show you.
Yeah.
So if you want to enable any feature, that will be available directly, and you need to enable that feature using a checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
example, see, if you want to enable resume parsing, you can enable from here, just like a checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the features are like this, but some are interrelated. For example, in order to enable resume parsing, you have to first configure candidate profile. And in the candidate profile, you have to configure a resume. Then only resume parsing
Mm-hmm.
will apply. So there will be some
Okay.
dependency here and there, which we will discuss deeply.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So any other
When
questions?
you have one question.
Yes.
Suppose if the core is in SAP and talent is in a SuccessFactor. Let's say the
Yeah.
payroll we are adding in SAP. So
Mhm.
is there a standard integration between SuccessFactor RCM and then SAP ECC?
No,
Or do we need to use any middleware tools?
there is no standard integration, but we have a concept called integration center where you can send the data directly to your SAP payroll.
So without any middleware, can we do that?
No, without any middleware, we cannot do that. Within the module, we can directly use it, but outside the SuccessFactors, you have to use a concept called API,
Okay.
integration API.
Okay. That's a usual scenario, right? There are many companies
Yes,
using SAP.
we will have these cases many times because some organizations will have SAP as their legacy system. So once
Hmm.
they move to SuccessFactors, they will still maintain some data in SAP system. So there we
Okay.
will connect our SAP system with SuccessFactors system.
Okay.
And
So
even,
yeah, do
for
you think?
example, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So even in the Employee Central also, you send the information of one employee's salary directly to your payroll. So payroll is not a part of SuccessFactors.
Yeah. And Venu, thank you.
Any other questions, or we can wrap up the session? Anything related to timing, course content, any other detail, you can talk to the admin directly.
So how long RCM training will takes time? Like how
It's
long?
a 35-hour sessions,
Only RCM, including onboard as well.
only RCM.
Only RCM. And how about onboarding?
Onboarding is again 30-hour session.
30
Onboarding,
hours.
we can call it as, if it is on 1.4, we have two versions of onboarding. If it is a 1.0, we can have the sessions 25 hours. If it is a 2.0, it will take 30 hours.
Okay, got it.
Depends on the module and depends on the time.
Yeah, got it. That's it, Venu. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.